the past few days, I've been prepping for my Discord game of ShadowDark, and I've bought the adventure, I've been reading it through, setting up all the maps on Roll20, and then I've been sent a new book that has thrown all of my prep out the window, because this is the book that I'm now going to be running. It's possibly one of the most interesting and fun, if fun is the right word, starting level adventures I've ever read. Let alone being for ShadowDark. It's absolutely fantastic. It's got a really good plot. The locations are brilliant, but just the way that the whole thing is put together has made me sort of change all the hours of prep work I've done. If you're one of my players on my Discord, then you can stay here for now, but I'll tell you the point where you need to hop off, because there will be spoilers and I'm not going to appreciate it if you watch this video and then you know what's coming up. From a spoiler point of view, I don't intend to really spoil too much, but there are going to be spoilers as I go through the book. Okay, before I get into the book, my name's Adrian from Dungeon Dyslexia. This is my channel based on role-playing news reviews. I deal with crowdfunding. Obviously, I have my own Discord. If you want to come and play games on there, please do join us, or if you've got any questions, I've got Facebook, X, and I've got my own Patreon. So let's just jump over and look at the book and where you can get it from when you do buy this, because I can't recommend this enough. So we've got Righteous Vow, Volume 1, The Lich King of Ull. Volume 1. I already have Volume 2, which I've started reading, and so the review for that will be coming up. And there is a spoiler that a third volume is in the works. Okay, so it is by Crawl Club Publishing, and if you want to buy the copy, you can pick it up here. You've got the PDF, soft copy, hardback copy, and you can buy the soft and hardback copy. When you do buy this, please use my affiliate link. It just helps me pay for other books and put towards the channel, and I can sort of put the money back in, do the reviews, etc. So when you get this, you get the PDF of the book. So it's a 72-page adventure zine book. I don't know where the rules are, but you do get all of the maps, and I'm always appreciative when a publisher gives you the map, so I can then upload those onto Roll20. You can put them to whichever one your favorite VTT. So you've got all the locations for all of the castles that are in there, and then you've got the hex crawl. So yes, this includes hex crawls and random locations. I'll show you what I mean when we get to it. So the hex crawl map, which includes rumors and encounters tables. There are new monsters, skeletal enemy, and the Lich King. New magic items. It's the adventure for 1st to 5th level, which I was planning on doing a one-shot, and I think I'm going to try and manipulate my players into moving this into more of a sort of mini campaign. I can also include the Shucked Oyster, which I've done a review on, in the starting town location, and there's loads of art in here. Okay, so let's just jump straight over to the book and let's see what the fuss is about. Here we have the front cover of the Righteous Vow. So it's Volume 1. So new adventure, new monsters, new weapons and items. So it's an RPG zine by Bill Harvat. And when we get into layout, design, writing, he's done it all. Some of the artwork, he's got additional artists in. Cartography is all his work. So yeah, well done, Bill. Absolutely fantastic. So welcome to the Righteous Vow. Greetings, adventurers. You've seen... I see you've chosen to become a follower of the Righteous Vow. So the first foray, so everyone's in here. If you're still here, that's absolutely fine. It is said that the kingdom of Ull was once ruled by an evil king who terrorized his people into submission. He ruled with an iron fist until the nobles of the peasants rose in revolt, attacking his castle fortress. In the uprising, the king's son was slain, thus severing the bloodline. In a grief-stricken rage, the king called upon the dark forces to hunt down and avenge the death of his son. But the deity of ruin took its toll when the dark deeds were done. Tales tell that the king was cursed as he was sealed alive in his tomb and left to rot the townspeople of Ull. This curse would eventually transform him into an undead Lich King, but for now, his kingdom is only shadows and a memory. We'll get into the contents. So the contents of the book, so it's 72 pages, which is laid out. First foray, the contents, introduction, which we're into now, the land itself, the hex crawl map, monsters and magic items, which come in before the adventures, and then we'll get into the adventure. And that's the point. Well, we're going to get to the point where I think people should leave. But the adventure itself starts off, it's a bit traditional, or old school, you could say. You know, you're sat in an inn and an old dwarf asks the adventurers to help do something. Before I go any further, that is it. If you are a player only, you kind of need to jump out here because there will be spoilers going forward. Say, if you're one of my players on my Discord, go. I don't want you here. I don't want you watching this because I intend to run this. I'd say if I find out, I'm not going to give you an experience if I find out that you've read it. Okay, so if you're a games master, carry on. If you're a player and you are watching this and you want to run this yourself, absolutely fine, stay around. But say if you plan to play this, there will be spoilers, not deliberately, but I can't help it. Okay, you've been warned. Here we've got the location, and this is the first thing that really excited me about the adventure. So as you can see, we've got a hex crawl here and the town that you're starting in. It can be any town, name it however you want. But you've got your standard hex crawl, so you're going to be using your ShadowDark rule or the GM's Companion, I would recommend, by Chubby Funkster. Again, I've done a review for that, which really enhances the ShadowDark hex crawl rules. And you're going to be hex crawling around looking for one castle, okay? But as you can see here, there are 7. And what you're doing initially is rolling to see where the main castle, so Zardu Castle would be pronounced, and then you've got 6 other random castles that are there. And they will need to go to some of the others anyway, but what I really love about this is even as Games Master, you don't really know. I'd roll it to start with, okay? But wherever you get, this is the castle that the players are looking for. And everything else is utterly hex crawl. There's another location down here, which we'll come on to in a second. And the rest are 6 other castles. Again, all the maps are done and included, so there's nothing really complicated for the players to do, for the Games Master to do. You've got all the rumors in here, which pull in for the adventure, and then you've got a random encounters as they are traversing across the hex crawl. Main details here, we've got the towns. First one just to pay attention to is, so when you are rolling the random locations, it does say if you roll the main castle into A, so 403, switch it for something else, okay? Because this is an adventure that runs from 1st to 5th level, so trying to run them through the 5th level castle is going to kill everyone, unless you've got the sensible players to run away. But what you get here is, because all the castles look very similar, which is why nobody really knows, based on the map that the dwarf's given them, where the correct one is. There is someone that does know, okay? And she lives here in 803, but we'll come on to her in a second. So this will detail then basic details about the castles itself. If Zardu Castle isn't in these 6 locations, it basically says that it then gives you the castle. For example, Fortress D here, if Zardu Castle isn't it, what actually is his fortress, Golgoth. And that is the map that you'll be using when the players. We've got the Hag's location, so she is a unique character that is quite involved in the campaign, that can help or hinder the players depending on, well, how they treat her, really. Monsters. This is weird for me, putting the monsters before you get into the adventure. So we've got the monsters and then magic items here, and then we get into the main adventure. And I think I like it. It's odd and very different, but I quite like that you get to see the main bad, what they can do before you actually get into the sort of layouts of the maps. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of go through a little bit. So we've got Skeletal Warriors, it's Skeletal Knights. It's a big undead adventure, even a skeletal pet dog. Not really a pet, probably, because Fido looks hungry. Okay, so we've got some other monsters here. There are other monsters. When you're playing it, you're going to need the core rulebook to run, but you're going to obviously need the core rulebook for ShadowDark to play this. And we've got magic items that will be found throughout the kingdom. We're then into the adventure, which details the background of the adventure. Again, I'm not going to spoil stuff. Obviously, you can pause the camera and have a look for yourself. And then we've got all 7 castles. So how they work is it details the room. It's a standard map, and within the what you purchase, you will have 2 maps. You will have a fortress. So for example, here we've got the Fortress Dunkran, and you will have a map for the Games Master, and then you'll have a map that you can hand out for the players. If you're playing around the table, if you're playing on a VTT, you can just upload that map then onto Roll20 or whichever one that you use. And so Fortress Duncan, for argument's sake, here we'll just go back to the Hex Crawl dungeon, and Fortress Duncan would be the first one. Okay, so this is the first one that they should theoretically encounter, because you're not going to want that to be Castles Ardu, because it's going to be short. And then you would just be going through the rooms and like a standard adventure, really, just reading through the descriptions, fighting whatever monsters in there, picking up the magic items, the puzzles that's involved. Each of the locations will have some sort of notes and hints towards the other sons and daughters that are around, and that's about as spoily as I'm going to get, because there are other family members around, and they will keep going into each of the different castles and forts, discovering new things about the world, and eventually they will get to the last castle and into the crypt, which is here, which is underneath one of the castles. It's probably obvious which one it's under, and then it will just give you the conclusion of the adventure and the campaign there. Absolutely, utterly blown away with. I've never heard of the writer before, never heard of the company. So Crawl Club Publishing, they may have done other books. I probably should have had a look at. No, this is, I've just had a look on Drive-Thru RPG. He's got 2 writing credits and only 2 books to his name. So we've got Volume 1 and Volume 2. I say Volume 3 is coming. I will spoil more about Volume 3 when I do my Volume 2 review. But this is, I say, going in, this is probably the best starting and most interesting starting adventure I've ever run, and all my prep that I've done over the last week is out. I absolutely love the randomness of the castles and the discovery that the players are going to have to go and take out. It includes a hex crawl. It's got all the town locations, so you're traveling to and from the castles that they're going to be leveling up, coming back to the town. I can run the Shucked Oyster in the town itself, which is an amazing standalone book, which I just love the thought of. Go and look at the review I've done of that, which is, it's a unique brothel location. It's not as smutty as it sounds. But getting back to this, this is absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to finishing off Volume 2. I say I'll do Volume 2 once I'm ready and I've gone through it a little bit more. But if you are looking for a really good first level adventure that will take the players to 5th, people are running around castles, discovering stuff. They say that there's a bigger plot that actually comes out, and they're going to need to do different things within each of the castles to get to the main point to kill the big bad. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Bill. I probably should have said, I think I did say at the start that Bill sent me this copy, didn't ask me to review it. But instantly for me, this is what I'm now running on my Discord. If you do want to play any games on Discord, please do come over, join, and we're starting to get it sort of going on there. I deeply recommend Righteous Vow Volume 1. The Lich King of Earl. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.